Never realized my opinion could pique people so much after my Lion King critique. Unlike other spineless reviewers, I will not walk back my viewpoint. The live-action version was awful. Now on to another licensed property that will inevitably cause unrest in the online community.
The Simpsons!
You do not know The Simpsons, there is no helping you. The show has been on the air continuously since 1989. It was actually condemned by the 41st President of the United States, George H.W. Bush, in an address. It is more resilient than Dinococcus radioderans. When it finally leaves the airwaves, its run will be measured in half-lives. Numerous merchandise and hellacious video games have been made from the franchise. The show's golden age was between the years 1992 and 1999. We are currently in the zombie age of the show. It is just Fox Broadcasting eating out the rotting husk. After News Corp was acquired, The Simpsons are now property of the Walt Disney Company. In the tradition of Disney acquisitions, Universal Studios has rides in their parks based on the property. This fact further infuriates me, because The Simpsons ride replaced a ride based on Universal's best property, Back to the Future. Groening focused more on Futurama for a while in the early 2000s until its cancellation. He decided to get many of the former writers together and finally make a movie on the franchise. What I meant by finally is that Fox has wanted to make a movie throughout the 1990s. Groening was hoping this would be a great send-off for the show. It is 13 years later and The Simpsons will soon enter its 32nd season. With many of the writers, like Matt Groening, James L. Brooke, Al Jean, Mike Rice, etc., they wanted the movie to be the ultimate Simpsons experience. Longtime Simpsons director David Silverman took the helm. However, I wish they got Brad Bird back to direct, considering his dead recent work on Academy Award-winning films, The Incredibles and Ratatouille. Critics and the audience gave the film much praise, with Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes giving it 80% and 3/4 of the audience approving of it. Now that a decade has passed, I want to look at the film to see if it is worthy of its acclaim or are the nostalgia goggles showing a distorted view. Let's dive into this sinkhole, and yes, there's a sinkhole in the film. For the positive attributes of this film, the direction was great. This is the best visual representation of The Simpsons anyone will ever see. The animation is very fluid. The background art is alluring. The CGI was extremely well blended into the 2D animation, making it look hand-drawn. David Silverman deserves some acclamation. The Simpsons has always had all-star cast of voice actors. Dan Castellaneta, Julie Kavner, Yardley Smith, Nancy Cartwright, Hank Azaria, Harry Shearer, Pamela Hayden, Tress MacNeil, and the rest gave off performances for an award-worthy motion picture. The writing for the first act of the film seemed like a return to form from the Golden Age. However, this film has its flaws. There are some missed opportunities. First off, why was Arnold Schwarzenegger in this film? I understand Arnold was in politics at the time. However, the show already had a parody character based on him, Rainier Wolfcastle. If you used Wolfcastle as the president, you could have avoided the obvious legality that no one born outside the United States or to American citizens can become president. Wolfcastle is a fictional character whom you can recon to being born in the USA or to American parents. On top of that, the writers could have shown that an action hero makes a terrible president. Schwarzenegger also makes this film feel dated, since he left politics almost a decade ago. Another missed opportunity was not bringing back Hank Scorpio. The film's villain, Russ Cargill, who is also voiced by Albert Brooks, just seems like a generic version of Scorpio. The audience is already familiar with Scorpio and his brand of evil. A Wolfcastle Scorpio team-up would have sent the fans into a frenzy of enjoyment. they would just treasure this motion picture if that happened. There are some more stupid points in the story. The citizens of Springfield have created a super fun site at the town's original site before moving the town 5 miles down the road. The staff could have done some commentary by deporting these contaminating deadbeats to another country or just nuke it with an actual nuclear missile, since they are just going to destroy their adjacent environment again. The glass dome that contains the municipality does not go deep into the ground. Why doesn't any citizen go Andy from Shawshank and tunnel out? After all, they saw the Simpson family escape that way. When the Simpsons escape, they go to Alaska. Alaska is the 49th state of the U.S. Why wouldn't the U.S. government be after them there as well? One of the franchise's recent weaknesses relies on guest voices. Coming off their recent album, American Idiot, Green Day makes an appearance, only to die. Tom Hanks also makes an appearance. Thankfully, this is it. There is an absence of a nonsensical appearance by Lady Gaga to the enjoyment of the audience. Personally, I liked the fact the writers tried to keep the characters multidimensional. In the past 2 decades, the characters have become one note. Too bad, the show just ignored any development these characters had. This film is a very ravishing looking film that Simpson fans could have wished for. There are many overlooked possibilities and plot holes in this film. However, I felt overall feel and humor is a substantial delineation of the property. If this film was the final swan song, fans would have left the theater satisfied. Too bad, the carcass on the prerogative still had meat on it. I will grade this film as a B-. If you love The Simpsons, I would recommend that you watch it on Disney+. Until next time, Longhorn Crowd.
Spider Pig, does whatever a Spider Pig does.